have him in the lineup, right? It kind of feels like the CFO with Shun, right? You want to put a lot of resources on him, make sure he can get the outplay. It's almost a bit of a spring composition where you want to try and protect your AD carry as much as possible, let him get to that 3-item spike and just unleash rockets. We'll see if it's going to work out for them. Impunity sitting at 2-3 would love to try and round things out here at the end of week 2. I've had a hard time with some of the stronger opponents. I think we expected them to be performing maybe a little bit better than they have, and we gave them a dark horse opportunity to push deeper up the standings. But if they can beat Beyond Gaming here, like Frank Esports did, that will change the conversation. It won't be easy.
Definitely won't be easy, but an exciting start coming out in this bottom lane. Both of these AD carries starting out with Cole. So if CC does land on one of these AD carries, they will pop. But certainly, I think both of them are looking at the long game. They're able to get that. They really need to prioritize itemization here. The faster they can get to their items, the better. Because for Annex, he is the one big damage threat for his squad. And on the flip side, Wako, if he gets his items, where's the threat onto him, right? Yes, there's the Nautilus ultimate to lock him down, but if he ever gets in range, the issue is he shouldn't get into range, and the Zillion isn't going to dive onto him. The Wukong, if he jumps in, he's just going to get headbutted out. And ICU, I mean, he's really just been underperforming, so we need to see a lot from him. So overall, I think BYG, they are really set to succeed here.
Yeah, I think ICU has been a big question mark, right? Because there was such hype around him being signed onto this roster, and you know, potentially seeing his potential unleashed, but it's yet to surface. So as we get underway, Winnie Kino trading out a little bit. Good old Jinx versus Zeri matchup. I kind of like when these two champions go head-to-head, Nightstar. It's really fun because it's kind of like Jinx is just sitting there like with the Pow Pow going forward, looking at Zeri like, wait, who are you? I'm you, but better.
Yeah, thematically, Zeri's just very similar.
Maybe we'll go with that.
Yeah.
And Zeri is, you know, Zeri has been a champion that's been pretty much must ban, and there was a time when Jinx was one of those really, really strong champions that was maybe not necessarily must ban because you could contest it with like the Aphelios, but certainly had huge pop-off potential, and that's what Impunity have gone for. Onyx clearly has a comfort level on this champ, and both teams seem to be relying a lot on their AD carries.
A lot put into the AD carry basket, and it's going to be this is a big test because really it's all about these AD carries. Yes, BYG can play a little bit through some of their other champions, but especially for Impunity, it's Onyx or bust, and at least he's very experienced in that department. Again, when he was on AHQ, his shining champion was that Jinx, and you know, we even saw it a lot over at Worlds. This was their playstyle. Get the Jinx on hand and try and roam as much and facilitate for this Jinx to make sure he gets as much gold, and once he gets to his 3 items, he just shreds through these targets. And that's going to be a similar case here, but they can't give up too much on these side lanes. The Jinx can only hyper carry so hard.
Yeah, not to mention you need time, right? I mean, I think Impunity are going to need to try and set themselves up for success as much as possible. I do like their lanes. I'm a little surprised that the top lane didn't go as head-to-head as it did, that the Sejuani showed very early and showed definitely as a top laner pretty quickly. I think, you know, there was an option to maybe see it at support. There was always that flex, but it feels like it was a bit of a bluff on the Beyond Gaming side. And ICU just goes for the Gnar. I feel like the potential may be a little wasted there, right? Like you were hoping to see a bit more. But we'll talk about that a little later, as there is a Husha lane gank incoming right now. He steps forward. I think Winnie and Onyx might know something's up. As when you're playing with a Cole, you want to be safe. With the level 4 Husha gank, this is something Husha loves to do. Get active early, set his lanes up for success, and he gets a little impatient, reveals himself, and just gets a quick hit on there, a little lane tax, and he's out.
Yeah, I mean, with the wave state where it is, it's going to be hard. They look to try and bait that gank. Didn't work out, and especially on those plays, you just have to make a decision very quickly. because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. Alex going to go ahead and steal away this Raptor camp, but on the flip side, Beyond Gaming will be able to secure themselves this dragon. And right now, BYG also... Oh, okay, here's the collapse coming in. They really want to go for the split.
Minji's here as well. It's going to be the spike down. They do immediately pull onto Kino. However, Winnie may have bought a little more than he could chew off that one. Wako getting first blood, so they get the dragon for dinner and a dessert. First blood kill onto their AD carry. Impunity, that was probably the worst outcome.
Yeah, there was definitely a curious movement coming in from Impunity wanting to take that fight. Winnie, I mean, it was a clear team decision, though, right? Where they all started making their move over. Winnie, obviously, just going in to try and start out the play, but he is sitting on Glacial Augment, so he isn't very tanky. So when he goes in, he pops very quickly if he doesn't land the hook on the right target. And for BYG, it's a very easy kill for them, and yeah, they just got to the play first, and you know, Alex not level 6. He's lagging behind, and yeah,
they needed to be able to make the play a little faster. And I think the one thing we can give Impunity credit for, right, is like our issue was with this rotating roster and with what we've seen in their play. It just hasn't been the team on the same page. Some of the same struggles we were talking about with 7-9, but it's not that issue this time around. They're moving together. They're making the play. The problem is they're just getting outplayed because they're getting out-rotated on the map, so they lose prio and try to force the issue anyway. So Impunity against tougher opponents are running into the brick wall.
And, well, at the very least, here's the positive. They are up in CS when it comes to their mid and bot side. The mid lane's somewhat important because you need the Zilean to hold up relatively well. Because of the fact he's their magic damage. Whatever a little bit of magic damage they need him to provide, well, it's important for him to actually get there. This is really nice, of course, when you are the Zilean, being able to help your jungler make up the EXP gap. That will help considerably now that he is level 6 and able to pull off his first big gank. Up top side, there's a ward to throw him down, but it's not going to spawn him because there is a control ward. So Alex could find a good timing here. It is on a Sejuani, though, so, you know.
The Narbar. There we go. He's out already. I think if that had been timed for a little better bait, maybe that would have worked. All the same, Liang knows. Like that. Here's the thing. That play works against Lee Kai, I think, at least half the time. Liang is a much more conservative player and better in the lane. And that's one of the reasons I think Beyond have made the substitution. They you know, like, there's really no two ways about it. I think against the Frank esports game, Lee Kai got kind of clapped. That was why SKM carry potential showing up.
Yeah, and this time things looking pretty solid for Liang. Of course, he also rocking the Ignite, which is very common what we see on Sejuani. So the ability for him to punish a play coming in from Impunity is also very punish as ICU.
The brush.
Trying to fight his way in. I don't think this is happening.
Maybe with Narbar it's going to change, but Minji immediately turns his attention onto Alex as they do manage to take away the Herald. That's Alex going out on the clone. Beyond Gaming. Alex
going back in.
For cast 2. Let's see
Wait
if they've got
a second.
kill. Oh, Kino with the cutoff. They've actually got a great turn on this one, but Minji is going to fall, but not before he takes that Alex. ICU should as well. Can't quite get the damage out for the execution on the boulder toss. And it's 1 for 2, but they're not stopping just yet. Kino going low, but they do have enough time for the double kill to come through for Wako. Big plays from Mega Bank Beyond Gaming.
Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie should have died, I think.
Wuxia just jumps past him, and Winnie's like, "Whew, I'm out, please."
Yeah, that was.
Pyro, that was just the overall disaster, though. Even though the Winnie gets out alive, they lose still members on that play. It's definitely a negative play. Alex goes back in. Of course, he has the Zilean ultimate, and this is a conscious decision. But once more, Impunity are late to get back to the play, to the start of the play. Goes in, it looks all right, but when
Kino's
Kino's
zoned
sitting on
so
top
well.
of the Jinx isn't able to contribute enough damage, gets zoned away, and yeah, by the time he's able to get back, well, it's all done and dusted.
We're gonna get to watch this
All right,
again.
here we go.
Here comes Husha.
Hoi!
It
Doesn't go into the bush.
What?
He almost killed Winnie even without it though.
See, he didn't know that he almost. I thought for a second that he like knew and he just like when he was getting away in the chaos, but no, he just flat out didn't realize he almost got a kill.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't face check brushes. You never know who's gonna be in there.
Yeah. You
Could
might
be
just
someone
get
that you almost
free
one-shot.
200. Yeah, you might just get a free 300 gold out of nowhere. But BYG
sometimes
now,
face checking is good.
Yeah, they do maintain their 100% Herald rate. So now they're also going to secure the second dragon, and everything is going in favor of BYG at the start of this game. So this is going to be a very, very early Dragon Soul threat at 21 minutes possibly. That is also very scary for Impunity because that doesn't leave you a lot of time to scale up as this Jinx, and she has to go for Kraken Slayer here. She isn't able to really pivot for more safe build because of how many bruisers are included on this BYG roster. And if you look on the flip side, like Zeri has 3 kills. That's the other thing. You just can't let Zeri get ahead.
Yeah, that's trouble, right? Is you really got to be careful there. And ICU does manage to just barely dodge the bullet, but
still the stun.
He can't dodge Husha as he goes in on the Spectral Maw, claiming the kill for himself. Husha, very aggressive jungler, manages to find one. And Beyond Gaming, yeah, make no mistake, they were very favored coming into the day, despite the loss yesterday against Frank Esports. I think that says more about Frank just really shoring their strengths up as a team. But Beyond Gaming, this is a team that beat PSG in week number 1. They certainly know their way around the rift. And Impunity are still trying to find their footing. They're playing as a team, but unfortunately, they're just late to the party as Winnie is going to be able to take the safety just out of there.
Yeah. Apex doing pretty well for himself, though, right? He's got 30 CS lead. He is going for Leandri's build, so not as much utility, of course. Usually we see the Everfrost, but certainly as the soul damage threat, wanting a little bit more oomph in his build. Makes a lot of sense.
I respect it. I like it. I think damage Zillion is always a fun one because you never expect those bombs to hit as hard as they do. So getting another blue buff, I think it's another way to make sure that you don't rely entirely on the Jinx, right? We talked about how this was going to be the big win condition for Impunity, but they've also got at least a little bit of a curve to their scaling. I think the Wukong from Alex, we're going to need to see more out of, right? Like, we need to see him getting to the place faster and setting up those big multi-man cyclones, because that's the opportunity for both Apex and Onyx to start unloading damage. If they can layer CC with ICU and Meganar, or even Winnie's ultimate, that's going to work really well. The problem is they're getting zoned out of this. Like, Kino's doing a great job of keeping them at arm's length. Leong's doing a good job of just face tanking everything. And Wako and Minji kind of don't ever have to worry about being in trouble, as the Immortal Shield bow is already complete.
Yeah. I think more so for Wako, right? There's just no threat onto him. As long as he plays these fights out well. And there's so many ways for them to deal with the Wukong engage. He goes in, well, they can either boot him out, or Kino can just dive the backline and cut off the rest of the damage. So maybe he hits a 4 or 5 man knockup, but immediately Kino's just cutting off the rest of the damage source by standing in front of Zillion and Jinx, and now ICU is going to get cut off of life support, perhaps.
Oh boy, here comes the crash. The Narbar's not quite there yet as he's running, has a flash, will use it. Turn around, here comes the cavalry though. Apex, Winnie, and Alex already there. And they've got a 1 knockup under tower, looking for the second cast. That's going to be the big one, but they flash away. The Jinx rocket sends them flying nowhere as it splits the uprights, but Kino can't quite get away from this all. The cow is running, but will be sacrificed as he gets gnarred out. They spend a lot to get him, but they do.
They do indeed. 80 seconds until Dragon. And they are going to give up this bot tower. So extra gold going in the pocket. They will be exchanged up top lane. BYG, we'll see if they actually go and I mean, they should concede it, but do they want to
Minji.
concede?
This is a 3v4 that they seem to be opting into, and there's the turn again. They do find the damage to delete Liang off the map. Husha a little bit low, but it was
That's
time
res.
for Minji to come in. This is still a numbers advantage in favor of Impunity. Minji takes ICU with the fadeaway. And they're looking for him. This was very bold from Beyond Gaming. I don't think they respected the damage. As the hook comes through, Apex has arrived. They're under safety of tower, and even Onyx wanted to get involved. But look at what's happening on the bottom side. Wako just pushes a second tower.
Don't mind me. Just pushing the second tower down here as an 80 carry.
He's playing PvE League of Legends.
Yeah, exactly. And he's able to get himself a tier 2, which is a lot of isolated gold, and we can see that transition into just a full Phantom Dancer. Wako
that is an item advantage.
So
it's a
strong
complete
right
item advantage against the Jinx that is out farming you.
Well, marginally.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying. Technically, that's the silver lining.
Yeah.
Let's look at this play again, because it was a very, very long one. A good turn.
Yes.
But man, did it cost a lot.
It starts out well for the side of BYG, right? You go in, you know you have initial numbers advantage, but a nice response coming in from Impunity, Aquino throwing his body on the line, but now back in the live.
He's doing it again as the bombs do land. Alex looked like he was caught in the beginning there. And
this is a good spot.
Both of the charges of his ultimate. Meganar comes up for ICU. Leon and Wako, though, isolated Onyx, who flashes back.
They can turn back. They can turn back.
They can make this happen. Looking for more right now. Leon face tanking it all up as he tries to limp away. But this is what you like to see as a Jinx. You like to be in the backline, just continually chasing them down. They can't get the kill credit, but they do have Dragon priority, and they maybe can cut off the Drake stacks.
ICU doesn't have Mega. He needs to start building up that bar. It did just fade away. He does have Mega up available when he does have Gnar ultimate, but when he is dead.
Against COD goes golden. They're going to split a little bit of effort. They do have Bazillion ultimate. Alex still finishing off the Dragon.
That's
they will get
massive.
It. Yeah, that's pretty big. They don't lose anybody just yet. Look at how low Wako is if they can find the kill on him. Winnie gonna get the knockup onto Minji. He's out of there for now. Kino isolated from the team. The knockup goes through. Did him headbutt Polvin out as Alex was denied. But man, Impunity don't lose anybody, but they do grab Dragon. They don't lose tower. Not a bad turn of events.
That is a massive, massive win for the side of Impunity. Given, making sure they are able to get that Dragon, probably the most important part of that moment, which means that the delay and buy more time for On to get that next item, get to that third item, make sure he gets either to the Infinity Edge or that Lord Dominic's Regard. And he's going to need one or both of those items to really make a difference with how many bruisers are on the side of BYG, how many large health bars. But Bladed Rune King, it looks like it's going to be that bruiser build coming in from the Yone. Bladed Rune King into one of those tank mythics. And they are going to... Yeah, I'm trying to maintain their 100% Rift Herald rate.
Well, Shelly's getting pulled pretty far out of home right now. See Winnie, Alex, Onyx, and Apex can make it happen. That's going to be the start of the fight for Minji. Pulls himself back. One of those things you do as a Yone, you just completely rubber band yourself out of harm's way. Shelly getting a little bit aggro and going to reset. So Beyond Gaming don't get anything for the trouble here as they get the isolated catch onto Husha. He goes with the Heartbreaker on ICU as that Marbar is not quite up to snuff, and the chase is happening on multiple fronts here. As Husha does fall, Minji going in, going out, and getting shut down by
that's
the
2 kills, though.
You can't escape. However, they keep on charging. Kino trying to carve a flank himself. Apex getting chased down by Wako, and they will be able to turn it. The Gnar
still up, though.
The party. Onyx
they have to kill him.
Play looking for Wako, and he's just able to get it, but it's mutual shutdowns. Impunity win the fight, but the triple kill for the Zeri, and Alex is the last man standing.
Jungle Gap.
Jungle Diff, man. Oh, what a crazy fight.
It literally came down to 1 HP. We could have had a double ace out of nowhere.
It wouldn't be the first one. Oh, we gotta watch that again. What a fight.
Yeah, I mean, this fight was just so chaotic. This is probably one of the best parts of the durability patch too. Like, these fights just go so long.
Everyone's improved on the durability patch.
Kino is trying to section off. This is what went well last Hero fight, right? Kino goes in, sections off the damage, and there's no damage there. But this time around, they jump onto the back line, but they are able to keep the Zillion ultimate for the carry this time around. So even though Apex does die, Onyx comes back with a full HP bar, and ICU able to return just in time to, well, sort of keep his AD carry alive.
He literally dies with his his Ultra Shock laser casting.
Yeah,
holy crap!
And like Zeri is so
that damage!
Busted on Mountain Rift too. It's so hard to play
5,700
against
in that team
the
fight.
Yeah.
Good lord. Yeah, I mean, this is why you're supposed to ban it. But man,
Yeah.
Beyond Gaming just said, all right, we're leaving it open, and Onyx is like, no, I can't figure out that Zoomer champion. Give me Jinx, you know? No, I kid, but On did a really good job in that fight, but just, man, the difference of having a Fed Zeri now with the triple kill on top of it all, working
Almost
towards
an
the
IE
edge as well. Oh, gosh.
Once the IE gets completed, it is so hard to play the game now because you're trying to get into these choke points. And remember, Ultra Shock Laser can crit. So you're going to be playing into a 95% crit Zeri, and it's Mountain Rift. Like, how do you get out of these choke points? So when it comes to this next dragon, Impunity have to get there very early on. Otherwise, it's just a nightmare to ever play the game.
And they need to get a little more time too, right? Because we just see Onyx completing his second item, the rapid fire comes through. The silver lining though, Apex has gotten very fed himself, has the Rabadons. So now this Zillion's really gonna hurt. I mean, we saw the bombs doing so much work. Like, even though Minji gets in, gets out, does he really when he's got a bomb on his head?
He's taking a party gift to the rest of his squad. So if he's able to find these double bombs, that definitely will be a big impact. But as we see the Mythics, they are really, really tanky.
Yeah, they do find the stun off onto Apex, and he might need to save that ultimate for himself as Minji goes into the back end. Knock up Alex does mean they can't quite finish with this one, but the rest of BYG are very healthy as ICU finds the Gnar against the wall. Is there any follow-up damage? No, Wako taking low, but escapes around the side.
That's a
Minji
reset.
falls. Onyx is going on the get excited. Gets the second one. Kino with the knock-up, but is he going to stay alive in this?
That's the
thing
res.
is taken low, but
Wako's
the rest
1
comes
HP.
through. They're looking for them all. The double bumps on Beyond to fall and a quadra kill for the Jinx. And they're chasing up the mid lane.
Nice try, buddy. This is how I got to Worlds, baby. And it's showing up massive with his trademark Jinx. And that will be Impunity being able to run away with this Baron buff. The game has completely and absolutely flip-floppity flopped.
That was massive. Impunity pull out such an incredible fight. Everybody does the job they need. They not only get the dragon, they get the Baron off the back of it, claiming 2 huge objectives, plus the Goldie. Let's look at this fight, because it was Beyond Gaming that started it.
Yeah, Beyond Gaming find the stun onto Apex, which is really, really good. Minji gets into the backline, also really, really nice. And now they start funneling into the choke point, which, I mean, all of a sudden you have to deal with the double bomb control. You have to deal with just grouping up, piling in for this Jinx to hit multi-man rockets. And this is very well played. They don't threaten anyone besides the Jinx, which means that Apex doesn't need to throw his ultimate onto any other member besides the Jinx. And that means you have to kill Jinx twice. And right now, yes, your Zeri has a ton of damage, but remember, this is a comp with 4 bruisers and a Zeri.
Look at that damage. Oh man, it's so close. It's such a toss-up between Onyx and
This
Wako.
is so fun.
I love that.
Oh,
this
look
is the
at
moment.
that laser.
This is the moment that Onyx just says, all right, sit down, young man. I got this. I love what Impunity is doing right here. This squad, and they're doing exactly what they need to. Here comes the knockup from Kino. Will it be the turnaround for BYG? That teleport coming a little bit late here.
3-man!
Relocked up. Can't quite get the
That's the
deletion
res.
off. as Onyx is getting
Now they
rezzed
reset
up.
the fight.
Oh no, they can't go for the round 2 here, and they've lost Leong as he just absorbed so much pressure, but finally
Double reset.
Wako in the back, but he's run out of front line as they get the hook off, denied a bit by Minji. Here comes around the backside.
Oh no,
Husha, but Onyx is holding on. He uses his flash to get to safety. Wako dodges out of danger, but he's run out
still
of
do
steam.
this.
He's
This is
trying
Zeri.
to go for more dodges. The big
It's still
Nard.
Zeri.
That's a big shutdown. That's going to cut off the push. Oh, what a game, what a fight, and what a scrappy play by both teams.
And that fight could have just been won by Wako himself. Again, Zeri, a very much 1v9 champion. Yes, Jinx has those big quadra penta moments, but you need the team to play around her. Zeri herself, once it gets to those low health bar statuses, the spark can easily finish off targets as we get to see the replay. A beautiful ultimate coming in from Minji to occupy so much of that backline time, but they just don't have enough damage from this front line. There's not enough oomph here, and Wako comes under threat, able to get out because he has the extra movement speed. In Husha, that was the moment that could have turned the fight, because if Annex does get picked off by that ultimate, that's off to the races for BYG. Instantly, the game turns on its head once more, but not enough. I love the fact that ICU tries to go for the kill shot right there by flashing in, get the Gnar ultimate onto Wako, but it's not enough, and unfortunately, he does go down, but it burns the flash onto Zeri. So yet another safety tool removed from this 1v9 champ.
Critically, though, Husha also burned Onyx's flash in that last fight. So now we're in a situation where it's really all about watching those carries. And I think for Impunity, they're going to try to keep Onyx as safe as possible. But Onyx has been doing a great job of the positioning. And speaking of
buffer.
just getting back. Oh, man, they cut Minji off right before he can get in front. And even with the fadeaway, the rocket saying goodbye. That's a reset. Kino now isolated from the pack. Sure, he can get a knock-up. He does get a lot of damage onto the Jinx, but he knows he's just letting his team survive. Now, it's 3v5, baby.
That's a two-man advantage. They're going to run straight down the mid lane.
Ultra
shock laser crit.
Oh boy, it's not over yet. This one is scrappy. Gotta dodge those lasers as they take the tower down for the reset. Nothing else to get on the map here, Nightstar. Not for another minute. Oh, look at that gold graph.
I love watching Jinx versus Jinx on steroids. That's Zeri in a nutshell.
I don't know, man. I think Jinx this game is starting to like, Onyx was down a full item and he caught up.
Yeah. Great play coming in from the rest of his team, being able to make sure he's supported. And he is now on to his 3 items. He's on to 100% crit because of that extra crit cloak. So he will be doing a lot of damage, and he needs to do it because, again, like, there's a lot of meatballs to try and chew through. These are very tough meatballs. ICU walking straight into that one.
Didn't even get the Gnar bar out. Unfortunately, this is a 5v4 now beyond.
Oh, they have to back off. They have
to. They're
going to
take
They can't.
All right.
Yeah. ICU just wanders in. He hits the boomerang. Like, I'm pretty sure he hit the boomerang there. Maybe it was sidestepped.
Dodge, but it looks like it.
Yeah,
now,
it's very possible, but
this is an opportunity. All right. Oh, he takes his way out to freedom. Never mind. Yone does Yone.
Nice try. Yeah. That was a nice attempt. And critically though, Apex or Alex loses his stopwatch trying to make that play. Might have been a bit of a misclick there, but it's still a big cooldown eaten up. Maybe he's very close to his GA, and that's why he's willing to go ahead and burn that. We'll see you on the next. Nope, not quite. I thought he, might have had the goal.
Fat-fingered that one.
But yeah, that will be a key cooldown to keep track of, though. If he goes in, he does not have a way to get out because they don't want to use the res on this Wukong pick. They want to use the res onto the Jinx.
Speaking of GA2, Wako has got it himself. So both of these bottom laners are going to have a chance, a second chance, I should say, if they fall in the battle. Man, it feels a little bit like Spring Split, where you've got these two massive AD carries just wailing on, as you put it, a bunch of meatballs, especially on the Beyond Gaming side. And the fight's just going to completely depend on who's better protected, who puts out more damage overall. It's good old classic League of Legends, Nightstar. And it's a banger.
Very, very old school League of Legends. All about these AD carries.
This is where Onyx is going to feel very comfortable. He knows the game.
Yeah. Wako, you know, he's had a fair share of his competitive experience, so, you know, it's not outside that realm. But now, when it comes to objectives, again, the objective setup has to be big here, because if either of these teams get into the choke or get into river first, that's a big advantage for them, because trying to fight through these choke points is incredibly difficult. On one side, you have BYG with the Ultra Shock Blazer being able to control so much space, and then on the flip side, if you're trying to fight through choke, it sets up very easily for the Mega Gnar to come through, or that Wukong ultimate to really punish the backline.
Yeah, I think that's one of the huge things about Mountain Rift as well. It gives those openings a little bit more opportunities for ICU to pull off the big plays. I think the big improvement, though, for Impunity this game has been, it's so night and day from like the first 10-15 minutes to the second as we hit that 30-minute mark. They've just been so much better at getting on the objectives faster and finding the fights they need. Whereas in the beginning of the game, it kind of didn't really take.
Yeah, and now they've started to simplify the game as well.
They're 5v5.
Five-man group. There's no need to overthink things, which is sometimes what they did.
As they get the flash and hook into Kino. A lot of damage, but they're turning back. ICU, the Narbar, not quite there yet, but they will be able to carve a flank stake off. As the Laser Prism comes out from Liang, they do find Alex on the side, but it's a bit of a big Alex comes up massive as Minji's trying to hold the line in the back. Doesn't mean a thing. They get the double kill, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel for the Jinx. That's going to be another kill. The triple coming through. Gonna find that quadra. No, it's taken away by Winnie. And my goodness, Husha, the last man standing, but his base won't be so lucky.
And at 32 minutes into the game, these are 35-second death timers. I don't know if they can actually finish, given how small this wave is that's coming in, and the fact that Kino will be respawning, but maybe they try and end this game right here, right now.
They're going for it right now. Impunity going for gold, looking to try and end their week 2 with a 50% win rate.
Still such a long time for the carries.
Kino. Oh, it's a lot of time as they do buy a tiny bit. Husha going golden, but he's certainly going to fall as they layer on everything they need to, and they're just shredding through the towers. Kino trying to pinball the team away, but they will not be able to do it. Minji is up trying to do this. They just need to hit the Nexus, and they do! Impunity with the victory!
Oh my god, Impunity find a massive victory, and BYG swapping things up, bringing Liang into the roster. Honestly, Liang's play wasn't even all that bad. It was very, very solid, even on the Sejuani. Certainly not a champion that you would expect in his champion pool, but he performed what he needed to do in a